pieces, okay? But this video is going to be the soup to nuts, start to finish, how to do a virtual appointment. So some of this is going to be repetitive, although some things we need to hear multiple times, at least I do, because when a lot of information is being thrown at us, it's hard to absorb it all. At least that's how it is for me. So the first thing, I'm not going to go through how to book a virtual appointment through this, because I could do a whole class on just booking, and I have. All right. But the general idea is that you say, hey, how about I send you some samples and we can get on Zoom and I can walk you through that. I mean, and the person says yes. Okay. So we're at the point where the person says yes. Okay. As soon as they say yes, then the next question to her is, awesome. Do you have a friend or anyone that you want to have join us? Because I could send you both like matching goodie bags and we could all do it together. I have booked 3 parties where they invite their guests and send me the guest list, but I have booked only 3. But I've had a lot of people that have invited a friend. I've also had luck where I've had a customer that said yes. And then I was like, oh, we should have your sister. Someone I know, but she would necessarily have said yes to me or hasn't already. So I've been like, oh, great, let's invite this person, this person. So I've been trying to create my own parties, knowing who knows each other. So if you ask someone to book a virtual appointment, and she's like, oh, I don't even know when, and yeah, but I'll do it, we'll find a time. And then you can say, oh, we should invite Mary and Susan, because you know their kids all go to school together. Then most people at that point will say, okay. And then at that point, go to those other 2 people and say, hey, Deborah is doing a virtual makeover next Monday, and she and I were thinking it would be fun if we all did it together. That's a really easy way to get people to say yes. You're getting Deborah to book a party with her friends, but you're doing a little bit more of the legwork because you know who's connected to who. Of course, it would be much better if Deborah said, I'll invite all my friends from work that you don't know. But if that's not happening, try to book your own party with people that you might know that she knows, even whether they're your current customers or not. Now, once you have your guest list, it's very, very important that you pre-profile. I have gotten lazier as I have gotten older, I guess, and in my Mary Kay business. And what I do now is I do pre-profile for my regular parties, but I also just bring lots of stuff. I just bring lots of stuff with me. Like my roll-up bag is filled with tons and tons of demos. And then that way, if someone at the party says, oh, I have this issue, or oh, I have that issue, I just have it. I don't necessarily need to know every single concern they have about their skin. I just need to know the number 1. We don't have that flexibility with a virtual appointment, because with a virtual appointment, she needs to, if you don't send it to her, she can't try it in front of you. It can't happen. So we have to be really good about pre-profiling. And so that's, of course, getting their name and address and their cell phone. And then, of course, texting them and saying, what's your skin like? And if you could change anything about your skin, I'm going to be sending you a bunch of samples. Is there anything special you want a sample of? I ask a few more leading questions than I do with a regular thing, because I want them to say, oh yeah, you know what? I have this concern or that concern, like really make them think. I also am cool if they say, yeah, can we do eyebrows? Well, can I do eyebrows in a virtual appointment? Well, I'm not sending everybody eyebrow pencils because I don't have demos, but what I can do is I can say, yes, I'll show you how to do that. And then I can show up to that party without my eyebrows done. And then when it's time for eyebrows, I can do them on myself, right? Because that's how it is. This is them trying product and then you showing product on yourself. And it's that combination that can make you prepared. So pre-profiling, very, very important. I also want to bust a myth about the cost of buying samples and mailing samples. Because I've had some people say to me, this is expensive, but hopefully it pays off. I'm here to argue that mailing out all the samples in advance is significantly cheaper than doing an in-person party. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, when you do an in-person party, you are paying for gas, okay? First of all, so there's gas. Number 2, has anyone here ever stopped at Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks on the way to or from their party? Okay, that just paid for somebody's samples, or maybe 2 people's samples right then and there. Has anyone ever invited a guest to a meeting? That's $6, right? You go to a unit meeting, there's $6 right there. $6 pays to mail a couple of your packages right there, right? So, and then also, when you do a party in person, I don't think we're gonna sell as much as we do when we're able to send them customized products that we've sent to them. Here's the other thing. Anyone ever paid a babysitter? Right? Has anyone ever ordered pizza because you didn't want to make dinner because you were rushing to your party. So you ordered in, you ordered pizza, you ordered Thai food, whatever. That's more expensive than making your pot of chili or whatever you were going to make for dinner. So has anyone ever bought a skirt or a top because you need it for a party? You know what I mean? Like you need to update your wardrobe. Anyone ever got their nails done because a party's coming up and it's time to get them filled? It's way more expensive to leave our houses than it is to send out a few super cheap samples and have your letter carrier come and pick them up. So if you really do out the math, it's much, much cheaper to do it that way, whether you have high sales or not. So don't be cheap with your samples, okay? We can't as easily sell product without them. So like, here's my little CC cream, you know, and this is one I've been doing a lot of. Everyone that I do a party with gets an SPF 50 from our sun care line because nobody has sunscreen, right? Nobody's gone out and bought it, and they're not going to go to Target now to get it. They're going to buy it from me, but I'm going to send them a sample. You can try it on right then and there. So if you're starting to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm spending a lot on postage, put that out of your mind, because I'm doing the math, especially if you ever might have to pay a babysitter. It's so much cheaper, right? And also the personal aggravation. How many times have you had to do a party and then you had to make arrangements for someone else to pick up your child and drive them here or drive them there? Like there's a hassle to that and there's a cost to that because now you owe somebody else the opportunity to drive their kid somewhere. Like this is not expensive. This is just a very tiny investment that comes right back to us. So you want to sit down and you want to think about what you want to send her and you want to customize it as much as possible. So everyone should get a full skincare set, 3D set, or a Voluform set, or a botanical set, including the scrub, right? And you could do the clear proof set. And what I've been doing is I've been taking the toner and I've been putting it on little cotton pads, whether it's botanicals or clear proof, and squirting the heck out of it and putting it in a snack bag. And that's how I've been doing the toner set. And I saturate it pretty well. Right? Then you want to stop and you want to think of some spa treatment for that person. My go-to is I've been giving most people microderm and then charcoal mask and moisture renewal gel mask. I've been doing all three because I find that these appointments are quick. And that's okay. I don't want them to take a really long time, but it takes, you know, a minute for them to do microderm, and that feels so good, right? And then the other two masks we do at the same time. I've been having the multi-mask. As a result, I've been selling a ton of microderm, a ton of charcoal mask, and a ton of moisture renewal gel mask. I think the reason the appointments are so fast is because, number one, you start on time, right? With a normal party, I never start more than 15 minutes late, less than 15 minutes late, right? Try not to be more than that either. But people walk in and they're like, where's the wine? Oh my gosh, I have to see your new bathroom. You know what I'm talking about? Parties take hours and hours. So I think I've been feeling like these appointments are really quick, which is great for us. But at the same time, I feel like, listen, if I don't have to watch them get glasses of wine for half an hour, you know, while I beg them to sit down so we can get started, then I can do a multi-mask that takes 10 minutes. So that's what I've been giving for supplements. Those are samples that you can purchase individually, but they're also so easy to make with these little Ziploc bags. Okay, they're so easy and they're so cheap. I just ordered 500 more of these. Do you know how much they cost? $8. $8 for 500. Okay, so you just squirt them in, whatever. Okay, so you want to take a card and you want to write down everything that you sent that person. Okay. This is just an abbreviated one. Like this is a good example of one. So this is a 3-person party and I wrote down everything that I sent her, because when you're sending one a 3D set and one this and one that, it's really, I can't keep that in my head. It's just not going to happen. So have it down, and I've got all my little cards for all my little parties coming up with all of their names and numbers on it. So I know what I sent people. Well, not their names and numbers, with all their products. So I know exactly what I sent them. It's easier if you're doing something like a Hydra Session party, then I would just write Hydra Session. You know, but for the most part, I'm being pretty clear about what I'm writing down. I'm not writing down what shades of lipstick and what eyeshadows I've sent them, because they can read that off the packet, off the little sample, but I'm writing down all the skincare so I can know what to do in order. Okay, so you get all the samples, you put it in. I've been putting in a little card. Hang on, sorry. I've been putting in one of these little cards that I posted under files on MK Studio. And it says, join us for a future virtual beauty experience. And it says what they need to bring. because for my first few parties, I was writing this out and that was super annoying. So I made this completely generic. I made 2 of them. This one is actually the Hydra session one, and then one just for virtual appointment. And so what I would do is I would print them off of MK Studio, just go under files, and what right here I write their name. I'll be like, Deborah, I'm just going to keep using your name if that's cool. Deborah dash, and then down here heart Deirdre, and then right here I just write the date and time. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking it and I'm putting it in with the samples. I've been using sometimes I've been using satin hand lips bags because I have some, I just staple it to it. But a lot of times I just put it right into the envelope. And then they have it, and they have their little instructions. So they'll know to have a mirror, and they'll know to have a headband, and they'll know to have a couple of wet face cloths and a pair of scissors and all that. So you want to set them up for for success. I don't put in the Zoom link there, okay? For the Zoom link, I text that to them because I want it to be super easy for them to access. So I text it to them twice. When we book the appointment, I say, awesome, yes, Friday at 8 works great, or whatever we picked. I make sure they have Zoom. If they don't, I ask them to download it, and then I do the Zoom link. Now, how many of you are on, raise your hand if you're on your phone right now, as opposed to your computer. Is everyone on their computer? Most everybody's on their computer. So I want you to go ahead and pick up your phone, and we're gonna look at something together. Do you have your phone?
No.
Okay, grab your phone, and I'm gonna show you a cool trick. Some of you may know this, but this is a back to basics, so I'm gonna make sure that you guys all have it figured out. We'll just wait for Deborah. We know where she put her phone. What I'm gonna teach you is how to do a text replacement, okay? So, you know, the links for Zoom are super long. It's like HTTPS, which you never know, do I need that or not? I don't really know, but I won't leave it out. // zoom.us/ blah, 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 blah. That's the link to sign up to our meeting. But there is a way so that you never have to type that out again. Okay, so you have your phone, you go ahead and you click on settings, okay? And when you click on settings, it looks like this. And then what you're gonna do once you're at settings is you're gonna scroll down to where it says general, right here, where it says general, and you're gonna click on that, okay? So now once you're in general, it looks like this. Okay, and you're going to scroll up to where it says keyboard, okay? And I want you to click on keyboard, all right? And now the second thing down is going to be text replacement, okay? And I want you to click on text replacement. Okay, now this has the ones I've already have in there, but on the top right, there's a little plus, and I want you to click on the plus, okay? Now, we're going to do a really easy one. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to say, well, I'm just going to tell you how to do it. Okay. So what you're going to do at the top is you're going to type in the link is, and then your crazy long Zoom link. Okay. That you got off of zoom.com. And then underneath where it says shortcut, you're going to type Zoom link, all lowercase, no spaces. Okay. We're going to try a sample. On the top, I want you to write, what's a common thing you say? Let me know. How about let me know? All right, so on the top, I want you to write let me know, exclamation point. Let me know, exclamation point. And on the bottom where it says shortcut, I want you to write LMK. So, and then I want you to save it. All right, now I want everyone to open up a text message to anyone, doesn't matter to who. And right down here, I want you to write LMK space. LMK space. And look what happens.
I don't have an iPhone, so it's not working for me.
Well,
and I'm not getting an iPhone.
This is how you do it.
Figure it out.
This is what you do. You go to settings, and then you walk over and you throw your piece of crap phone in the trash, and you get an iPhone, and then you go back to settings. Okay. So anyway, do you see how it automatically changes? Okay, so that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go back to text replacement the same way, and you're going to write the link is, and type out the whole thing exact, and then write Zoom link. And then the next time you book someone and she says, yes, Monday at 2 works, great. You say, wonderful, Zoom link, send, and it will change to the link is, and have it right there. You can just click on it to start the meeting. So you do that when you book it, and then you do it again like that day. The day of, to be like, hey, I don't know if I sent this to you, here it is, or here's the link again, in case you don't have it. Sometimes links get buried, sometimes she doesn't remember, did you text it? Did you Facebook message? Anything. And if you do have all Apple products, you have like a MacBook and you have a phone, the text replacements work both places. That's the coolest thing ever. So anyway, all right. So that is text replacement. You want to go ahead and send out the Zoom link. All right. The next thing you need to do when it comes time for that party is every product that you've sent her, you need to have sitting right here. Okay. I don't necessarily mean the colors, the individual colors, but if you had a 3D set, you want to have those products here. So you can say, you know, or the CC cream, you can say, now we're going to use your CC cream, and you hold it up. Now, obviously, this is not what this looks like, but what it does is it shows that these are substantial products, right? And what they are. And when you show the cleanser, it seems a lot more valuable to have a big pink bottle than it does for them to be looking at this thing with it all scraped out. So you want to have the skincare products there. You also want to have a catalog right here. And up on your screen, you want to have whatever closing sheet you're using, okay? Because the beauty of Zoom is that you can share your screen. So you want to have that up there and ready to go. Does everybody know how to share their screen with Zoom? Okay, at the bottom of your screen, where I don't think you can do it now because it's my meeting, but in your own thing, you can just click on share screen down below, and then in all these little boxes, it's going to show you everything on your computer. You click on the set sheet that you already have open, and it will make it big. The other thing that's nice about when you share the screen is that they can see your cursor. Is it still called a cursor? They can see your mouse, your little arrow, right? And so you can go ahead and you can point to things on the set sheet, and they'll see you doing that. So that's how you get yourself all set up in advance. Get yourself a drink, right? Set up your lights, however you think they make you look best. And then you want to get on there a couple minutes early, all right? I have loved the punctuality of these things. The party's at 7, they show up at 7. This has never happened in 20 years of me being in Mary Kay. Party starting on time. It's just the world's greatest thing ever. So now it's time for the party to start. Oh, and for the other thing that I send them is a color card. I've been usually doing the color cards, but sometimes I do individual samples. It doesn't matter. There's no benefit of the color card over individual samples. So send them what you have, whatever you have. Okay, so now it's time to start the party. And if these are people that you don't know, you really want to do introductions. And one way that I love to do that, and I haven't had many big parties. I think the biggest party I had was 4 people, 5 people counting me. But like I had one today, it was a woman named Cindy, and she had 3 of her coworkers on. So I had pre-profiled them, but I wanted to really remember who was who, and I wanted to get to know them a little bit better. I'm like, so, okay, so everybody introduce yourself again and tell us how you know Deborah. And also, if you've ever tried Mary Kay before, what you tried and what you liked, and what your general impression is of Mary Kay. So she's going to say, oh, okay, my name's Sue. And don't be afraid if something negative comes up, okay? Because I've had people say occasionally, not in these virtual appointments, but I don't mind saying, and Pam Shaw taught me this, Linda Tupin taught me this, not Pam Shaw. You should ask them, what's your impression of Mary Kay? Like, what do you know about Mary Kay? And ask them that in the group. Because if someone tried Mary Kay 10 years ago and it made them break out, it's all good for that to come up now. It's all good for them to say, I tried Mary Kay and it made me break out. And at that point, what I do is I say, wow, you know what, Deborah? This is a good friend right here. She tried this 10 years ago and it made her break out. But she's here to support you anyway. You're clearly a risk taker, that you're back. I'll tell you this. We have changed our line so much. I don't think any of the things that could have possibly made you break out are probably even still around. So I won't make you break out. But I really appreciate you being on and giving us another chance. And that's good for people to hear. And then someone say, I just know about Pink Cadillac. So you want to kind of start it with a little bit of chatty so you really get who's who and you can remember that so you can move forward and have that, thing. Now, with the instructions, I say to have people have 2 wet face cloths and having them sitting on a plate. It's really specific to protect their table. Okay, because I want them to have that there. And so then you can do the party one of 2 ways. If you haven't been in Mary Kay that long, or you just love it, use the flip chart. Okay, the flip chart's so easy. The flip chart is so easy. They can't see the pictures, but you still have the script. You can put it right here so you can kind of have the script there without staring at it. And they won't be able to see the pictures, but that's okay. But you can kind of go through it. The format of the party is the same. You want to do your table opening where you say, thank you so much for coming to everything, you know, or if they're just all friends of yours saying, I'm really excited about this, you know, it's a, you know, a stressful time for people, and I've had to take my business entirely virtual. And I really appreciate you kind of going this way with me. So this is going to be like a regular Mary Kay party, except we're not going to breathe on each other. All right. We're going to treat our skin. We're going to moisturize. We're going to exfoliate. We're going to do some makeup, a little bit like a touch of color. If it's, you know, if you wind up wanting to do even more color, then we'll do this again next week, and I'll send you a bunch of more stuff. We got plenty of time, girls, right? And just so you know, of course, there's no obligation to purchase anything, but if you're tempted, I do, I'll give you the prices on everything at the end. I keep a full inventory, and I'm happy to mail that out to you. You know, we can get that right out to you. And to tell you a little bit about me, I started Mary Kay, and you give them your 90-second eye story, which is where you tell them how long you've been a Mary Kay, why you started, and why you stayed. Ultimately, that's the eye story, right? That's kind of the short version of your eye story. So for me, I started because I love the products. I wanted to get more of the products than I could afford, and I liked the discount. And then I stayed because once I was in for a while, I realized that this career could offer me financial freedom and the ability to stay home with my kids. And that was very valuable to me. And that's why I'm still around to this day. This isn't your chance to tell every story about Mary Kay. You just want to sort of set the tone. And then you say, okay, who's ready to get started with some skincare? And usually they're all excited and they're ready to go. And what's actually kind of nice is that you can take this card. Like, for example, Stacy, Elaine, I have 4 girls in here. Stacy is doing Volufarm, Elaine is doing 3D, and Della and Nat, one's doing Botanical, one's doing Clearproof. That could be a nightmare, right? But it's not, because I've written them in order. So I say, okay, we're all going to cleanse. So Stacy, you're using the Volufarm, Elaine, you're using the 3D, Della, you've got the Botanical, and Natalie, yours is from the Clearproof, but it's all cleanser. So everyone's going to take their cleanser, you're going to go ahead and smooth it on your face, and once you rub it in, we're going to go ahead and wipe it off with one of the cloths. Right? And then they just go through it, and then we go to the next thing. And I just numbered them. And so you're just going through it, and you can have it all organized in advance, and it takes you just a couple minutes to do it. And then there's no worry about figuring it out as you go. You don't have to worry about setting up the trays. That's something else that makes this easier. Having to go to the party and like, I got to set up all the trays. Oh no, I hit traffic. Some of the guests are here before I got here. I'm sweating. I've got a sweat mustache as I'm desperately trying to set up all these trays. There's none of that. Anytime you're hassled filling up these little bags, or you're like, oh, I gotta go down to the basement and get 4 envelopes. Remember all the moments you are not running around someone's dining room table, squeezing product into trays, right? It's the beautiful thing. So you're gonna go through each step. You're gonna have everybody cleanse, and then you're gonna have everybody use microderm, okay? Normally at a party, I just have them do it on their hand or on their neck. And I do that because what I find is that microderm can't come off with a cloth. And quite often they have to go to the bathroom. And when I'm sitting there and they're there with their friends and I send them to the bathroom to go wash off the microderm, they don't ever come back. Like, I mean, they do come back, but it takes forever. It takes so long for them to come back. And I start to think bad thoughts about them. And that's the truth. And like, I start to think, you don't respect my time. And I'm getting all this uppity because I'm like, you're taking forever. Like I get this sense of crybaby-itis. And for some reason, I let it get to me. That problem solved now. Because I said, go ahead and wipe it off with a cloth. And if you're still gritty, just run to the sink and rinse it off and come back. And you know what they do? A lot of them have to run to the sink. And they come right back. I don't know what it is. They don't have each other to hang out with. There isn't like a cheese buffet and a bottle of wine. They just rinse off their face. They come right back. And then they're not picking the grit off. So many emotional problems are solved for me. I don't know if I'll ever do another in-person appointment ever again. Okay. So, all right, so I'm putting on a little more lip gloss because this is getting me all excited. Okay, eating off my lipstick. All right, so they come back with a microderm. Now they have super clean, super exfoliated face, and you're gonna do whatever spa treatment you chose for them, whether it's charcoal mask or a moisture renewal gel mask, or maybe they're Volufarm people, you give them the peel. Maybe they're, it doesn't matter. And if you have any girls, they do the invigorating scrub instead of the microderm. So if they're going to do a spa step, that's where it would be. You could skip the spa step, but you know, that's where it would be. Now, normally the next thing would be eye cream. So you have everybody put on their eye cream. And if you ever have girls on there, this is the same for an in-person appointment. They're not getting eye cream. They don't have a comparable step, right? So if you ever have that where somebody has a step and other people don't, you say, okay, we're going to do eye cream. Della and Nat, you guys aren't doing that because you're too young. Call me in 10 years. Everybody else, this is where it goes. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to sit there like this. And then as soon as the eye cream's done, they're ready to move on. And then you say, okay, now, and the way I've been doing it, I've been saying the cleanser's on one side, and we start with that. And then I see, now we're going to go to the other side of that strip, and that the little one, that's the eye cream. Because sometimes they're hard to read. So I coach a little. Now, normally, at this point, I would do day cream on one side, night cream on the other. But I've been doing a lot of these appointments in the morning. And so if it's a rainy day, fine, that's what I do. But like this morning, I had a 10 a.m. party and it was gorgeous. So I just had them do day all over because I knew they were going to go outside. But I said, you have to promise me that you will do your night cream tonight. And they're like, we promise. And so then they have their whole 3D set on. The next thing they're going to use is their CC cream. How do you find what shade to send them? I sometimes look at their Facebook page if I can find them on Facebook. In my world, 90% of people are light to medium. 80%, it's a vast majority of Caucasian people are light to medium. And then bronze is even easier because there's only 2 shades. So usually I can look, and if I'm torn, if I'm looking at them on Facebook and I'm like, I can't tell, I just send them both. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and mute everybody because we're recording this. And then if you have something that you want to say, if you want to ask a question, then just, you can just, unmute yourself. I also have you guys up. So if you raise your hand on this, then I can see you. But if you raise your hand real in live, I might not see you because I can only see some of you. Aaliyah and I's waving. Hello, Aaliyah and I. Was that a question or were you just waving? Okay, we're gonna keep going. All right, so you get your seat. Yeah, if I'm torn, I'll send them both. And I'll just say, okay, I'm sending you your CC cream and I'm giving you your CC cream. And I'll just have written it down and I'll be like, Jean, for you, I was torn between light to medium or very light, so I sent you both. Try the light to medium first and let's see if it looks dark. And you just take it from there. And that's the beauty of having notes. If you have notes, it's so easy. So they go ahead, they do their CC cream. And then the next thing I do is I do eyeshadow. And I do eyeshadow next because it is the thing that people are most afraid of. So I find that getting that done first is the easiest. Now, if I'm using a color card, I just follow the instructions exactly. And what I've been doing that's been working really well my last 2 appointments is I've had on my eyeliner, but I've had on my eyebrows, but I've not had on my eyeshadow. And so what I've been doing is I've been doing it with them. And you have to use the same colors or similar colors. But if you do your eyeshadow, you say, okay, now we're going to put the first color right here. And they look and they can see it. And that's a really good thing. And you can even do it with your eyeliner and do it with your eyebrows. So don't be afraid to not have a full face on. Also, don't be afraid to show other things that you couldn't show, like I talked about eyebrows. Like I've been showing a little contouring just because they think it's fun. For some of my parties. So I'll walk them through how to put on the 3 colors. So there's stuff, they do it differently on the color cards. We always did light, medium, dark. But if you notice on the color card, they do medium, dark, light, which actually works out a lot easier. And that took me 20 years for someone to tell me. So I'll say, okay, we're going to do the first color and it just goes on the bottom half like this. This is called the lid. This is your midtone. And you just do a nice thin coat right here. And they're like, okay, and that one always looks good. All right. Second step is the accent color. And I'll say, okay, now we're going to do the accent color. You're just going to take a tiny little bit. I use the green card a lot. And the green card has Merlot as the dark color. And that's really dark. So I say to them, we're just going to use a little bit and we can always add more. And I say, just watch what I do. I'm just going to make a little V right here with the Merlot. And when I do it, it looks like a big purple mark. And then I'll just say, then you just blend it. I said, the key to putting on makeup is, blending it until it doesn't look bad. Then you have them put the light color all over. So they do the eyeshadow. And then I haven't been sending out eyeliners to my regular appointments, but I am going to be doing it for my glamour appointments. You go on to blush, you tell them how to put on their blush. And then what I've been doing is I've been giving them color cards and another lipstick and letting them choose. Now, I'm doing a whole separate class on just teaching makeup application. Okay, so if you want more to makeup application, I got that class coming up, and that class is on, hold please. That class is Thursday from 2 to 3, and I will tape it and post it. So that's going to be makeup tips, because a lot of you said you needed help with how to put on your makeup and how to teach people how to do it. So I'll get in more to that right then and there. So they go ahead and they do the color. Any other supplements that you want to show can be up to you. So for example, some of it, like for one of the parties I did satin lips, and I made little samples with it. I found it was a little bit of a hassle, but because it was kind of hard for them to get out because you put in so little, but I sold some satin lips. Now, the party that I did a week ago last Saturday, they're doing another one next week for Advanced Glamour. And they bought a bunch of stuff at their first party and they can't wait. They're like, what are we going to learn next? So I wanted to come up with some new things. So I put foundation primer and eye primer. I made foundation primer samples and eye primer samples for them because we already did all the supplements. You know, we did skincare, we already did CC cream, and we did a color card. So I need to come up with some new tricks. So that's what I did. I went ahead and put that on there. So it's kind of nice because really anything can be turned into a sample if you have little Ziploc baggies. And pretty much anything can be turned into a sample. Sometimes I have printed off some labels, but they print off messy sometimes. Most of the time what I'm using is a really generic ballpoint pen. I'm like looking for a ballpoint pen, like you don't know what one looks like the cheap ones, right? Not like a Bic, not like a fancy inkish one that, you know, will smudge. That works great, but the key is to write on it before you put the products in. So that's a little tip. But you don't need to have labels. I made a few and then they printed crooked and then I stopped making them and now I just write on them. But whatever's easier for you. So at this point, they've tried all your samples, whatever you decided to put in, right? And then what I like to say and then I'm saying to people, do you have any questions, right? Do you have any questions? And sometimes, and they've been asking some questions and sometimes that's when people are saying, how do you contour? And I say, oh, I'll show you. And I always have my own makeup palette right here. Because if they ask me to show anything, that's my nail polish that for some reason I don't want to take off, even though I know it would take 2 seconds. And then I can say, oh, here's a contour. And I can go ahead and put that on. So sometimes they'll ask some questions there. Sometimes they'll ask questions and I'll say, we could do some of that. I could send you out samples, whatever. And that's been working really well. And then it's time to go to the close. But there's actually one part that I forgot. And one part that I forgot to tell you about is what you do during the mask. So you have this 10-minute mask, right? And I'm finding that I tried to do the ticket game with someone and I did hash marks and I found that was, I had a hard time keeping track of who was talking. Then I tried doing the trivia game and I had a lot more luck with the trivia game. So I really like that sheet. That sheet is also on MK Studio. And all it is just a bunch of random questions about Mary Kay. There's one question that's, what are the top 5 things women are looking for in a career? That's not even about Mary Kay. It's just about women and careers. And so I like going through some of the questions on that sheet. And I think I want to see if there are any follow-up questions after that. It's really important that we are telling people about Mary Kay. And the way that you can do it is if you feel like you're kind of at the end of your party and you didn't share enough information about Mary Kay, you can always just sit there and say, no, I'd love to tell you a little bit. I'm going to take just like a couple minutes and tell you a little bit about what I do, because I know a lot of people are facing unemployment right now. Hopefully none of you, but you may know somebody. And so I just want to give you a little bit of info about Mary Kay. And then you just start telling them. You know, you're just going to say to them, we make a 50% profit. Our business is right now completely virtual. We're completely not touching. We're working from home. Even those, people aren't going out to eat and people aren't purchasing cars. They aren't going on vacation. People are still buying skincare and makeup. So our business is still working. And we're looking for consultants. We don't have enough. Sephora closed, Ulta closed, Macy's closed, everybody's closed. And we're one of the only people left in business. And there are a lot of people out there that need product. And so there's a lot of opportunity right now. And so I'd love to give you more information. I mean, just if that's all you said, then that's great. That's enough, right? So then what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, so I want to go through prices on everything. Obviously, like I said at the beginning, I don't want anyone to feel like they have to purchase anything, but there are, I don't want you to feel like I don't like to have there not be prices on anything. And then I've done what I told you not to do, which is not have your sheet up. So remember how I told you before your party, you need to have it up? Well, I didn't do that. So I have to put it up right now. I have to pull it up. So this is what you don't want to do. Don't be like me. Be better than I am. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and share the screen. You girls have catalogs because I sent you, it was for some of them if they have catalogs, and we're going to go over prices. Okay, so these are the skincare sets that we tried, and actually you all kind of tried something different. So Stacy, you used the Voluform set, and Elaine, you used the Miracle Set 3D. Natalie, you use the Clear Proof, and Deli, you use the Botanicals. Because with Mary Kay, it's really important that we customize your skin based on the individual, which is why you didn't all get the same thing. Which is, I would only say that if they didn't all get the same thing. And I'll say, and these are the prices. And now we're going to go on to foundation. So for today, what we tried was we just tried the CC cream, which is right here. This is our most popular foundation product. I think everybody's the right shade. Does everybody feel like they're the right shade? Do you feel like they're the right shade? See, I think I'm the right shade. A couple of things that you guys didn't try that I really love from this section. One is the foundation primer. If you find that your foundation wears off, and maybe you're a little bit more oily, or maybe you just, whatever it is, you feel like your foundation wears off, the foundation primer keeps it on and keeps it from going in the lines. I love this. And the other thing I love is a really nice brush to put on my foundation. And this one's my favorite one. And I actually have a special going on. So if you get the primer and any of the brushes, whatever you want, or any of the foundations, it's $54. So you save some money there. Now, let's talk about self-care, because that's what everybody talks about, right? So these are some of our sort of spa items, and we tried a couple of these tonight. Tonight we tried the microdermabrasion, which is my most popular supplement. Of anything that I sell outside of the skincare up above, it's the microderm. It's $55. Use it in the shower. It lasts about 4 months, and you just use it twice a week. It was that scrub. Didn't your skin feel nice and buffed and clean? And they're all like, yes. And I said, so that's that. And then over here we have the charcoal mask and the moisture renewal gel mask. The charcoal mask is more for blackheads, it's more for brightening, and the moisture renewal gel mask is just to hydrate the skin, and that's $22. The charcoal mask is $24. So those are some of the specialty things. If you're looking at this time and you're saying, you know what, I'm stuck at home anyway, I'd like to take better care of my skin, you always start with skincare first, right? Basic skincare. But then if you're like, but I want a mask too, or I want a special scrub, then that's where these things can come in. And then, we have every item in the catalog, but I put some of my best sellers down at the bottom. So we have like our lipsticks are $18 to give you an idea. Our under eye corrector, which I didn't send you samples of that because they don't have samples, but I showed you how to put it on. That one's $16. And then the satin lips is if you get chapped lips, and you just go through a few more. So if there's anything that you'd like, I'm just going to have you go ahead and let me know, and I can send that to you. So that's the sheet that I go through. And so the other thing I tried doing today, which actually worked pretty well for 2 of the people and not the other 2. I said, who's on their phone? And I said, because if you're not on your phone, I'd like you to send me a text of what product you liked most out of everything that we tried. But 2 of them were like, I'm zooming on my phone. And so they didn't feel that they couldn't do it because they were using their phone. I think they might have been able to do it anyway. But the other 2 texted me, and that wound up being their orders. So now I have to follow up with the other 2. So I think there's a lot of back and forth that happens once this closes. It's not as easy. If it's one person, or if it's 2 people in there together, like a mother-daughter team, something like that, then you can say, did you have fun? Awesome. Now, I'm going to be sending out orders tomorrow. Is there anything that you know that you want? And that's the question. That's the yes or no question. And and I like saying, is there anything that you know that you want? Because it gives them their out to say, well, I don't know what I want. So there's never any awkwardness. I always like to ask it in a way that their no is not awkward, right? But I want to give them the opportunity to say yes. Because if I just say, let me know if you want anything, have a great day, it was really nice talking to you, then I may or may not ever hear from her, right? So if I say that, a lot of times they'll be like, well, I know I want some makeup. What was this color again? And I'll say, oh, can we start with skincare? It messes me up to go out of order. Here, let me share my screen again, and let's just go in order because it's just kind of easier for me. So starting with like the top row, how are you doing with skincare? And then we go through that. And then they say, okay, and what about foundation? Did you like the CC cream? Another thing that I find is successful in-person appointments and these appointments, when they're like, I don't know if they say, yes, I know what I want, I start making a list. But if they say, I don't know what I want, then what I'll ask sometimes is I'll say, do you want me to just list what you tried? And you can tell me yes or no. Most of the time they say yes to that. And that is the greatest gift ever because they've already forgotten, even though we just did it and we just went over the set sheet, they've already forgotten. So when I say, do you want me to just list what we tried? And you can tell me yeah, if you want it or not. They say, yeah. Then I'll say, great. The skincare set that we tried. And then they'll say, yes, I want that. Or they'll say, well, I already have an eye cream and we can, whatever. And then I'll say, okay, what did we try next? Next, we tried the microderm. That was that scrub. I always do like the hand motions. That was that scrub that we did. You use it twice a week. Did you like that? And they'll say, I'm going to wait on that. And I'll say, okay. And then we did the charcoal mask here and the moisture renewal gel mask. Did you like those? And people say, yeah, I like those. If I was just going to get one, which one should I get? Well, we make the recommendation. I say, okay. And like I'm remembering. And it feels like I'm right. Like, okay, so next is we tried this CC cream. So that was that tinted moisturizer. That one was 22. Yeah, I want that. Okay, let's see. What else did we try next? So next we move on to makeup. And then, so we tried the eyeshadows. What did you think about your eyes? And I literally go through it one at a time. And people are happy to go, no, I'm good with that. No, I'm good with that. No, I have that. No, I'd never wear that. Yeah, I want that. So I'll go through everything that they tried that way. And then I'll say, was there anything else that I showed you? Okay, I showed you eyebrow pencil. What did you think of that? Was that something you think you'd ever do? That's another question I ask people a lot. Is that something you think you'd ever do? Because they can say no. And they're not saying, no, I don't want to buy that. They say, no, I'd never do it. So if it's anything specialty, I'm like, eyebrows, would you ever do that? And then they'll be like, maybe I will. So I love getting the opportunity to say, want me to just list it? And then you can tell me yes or no. And they get into the habit of saying yes and saying no. And I sell the most when they give me that permission to say that. I would never just start it otherwise, but I always ask for permission for that. And then you just do it till the end, and I'll show them everything I showed, and I'll say, anything else that you're concerned about with your skin? Was there anything that maybe I didn't show it to you, but like, do you have any other concerns about your skin? And sometimes they'll be like, yeah, I'm still getting these brown spots, and I might bring up the tone correcting serum or whatever. I will suggestive sell by saying, how about other parts of your body? How are your hands doing? Do you need body lotion? And people will just be like, yeah, I need hand stuff. Or they'll be like, no, my hands are good. No, I don't need lotion. And I'm like, all right, awesome. You good for sunscreen? Yep. No, actually I could use some sunscreen. So it's this nice back and forth where people do get very comfortable saying yes, no, yes, no. And you say, awesome. You're asking them the question with curiosity. That's how you ask questions in this business, with curiosity. So you're not asking with expectation. You're not asking, pressuring them. You're just saying, do you need sunscreen or do you have some? Did you want an eyebrow pencil or would you never do that? You're giving them outs, but you're also giving them opportunities to say yes. So that's how I go through it. I go through everything they tried, everything I demoed on me, and then I brainstorm other things. I'll say anything. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I might have forgotten. I talk a lot about forgetting. Did I forget that? One, because I forget stuff all the time. And two, because it's not so canned. And I think that that's more comfortable for people. So we go through all of that and you go ahead and write that up. Now, if it's a group, it's different. It's hard to have a group selling situation. And so that's really where, follow-up really matters. If you're doing any sort of raffle, like if you're doing any sort of, sometimes like I tried a couple times, like I tried doing like you get a ticket if you ask a question. If they got a trivia question, they got like a slash mark next to their name. If you're doing something like that, then you can say, you know what, obviously there's no obligation to purchase. I always like to thank people who support my business. So for every item that you get, by, I don't know, midnight tonight, you get another entry for the raffle, and then I'll pull it in the morning. And for some, that's enough. That gives them a deadline to go ahead and get their orders in to get some sort of benefit. So the other thing that you can do, and I tried this and it worked pretty well today because it was the 4 people and they were strangers. It was the one person that hasn't bought from me in 3 years that booked the party, and her 3 coworkers that I didn't know. And I really wanted orders from them, and I had no rapport with them outside of this party. I'd never met them. And so I said, if you do wind up placing an order, because it was clear they weren't ordering right then and there. One of them was like, I'm going to email you later with an order. And the other two were like, yeah. And then my hostess didn't say anything, even though I knew she would order. So I said, if you wind up placing an order by the end of the day, I'm going to give everybody 10% off just as a thank you, as a welcome to as a new customer. And one of them wound up placing a $210 order. So and then my hostess placed a $50 order, and the other two I haven't heard from. But I have to believe that perhaps that 10% off. Now, I don't like discounting product, but I just, in that point, I didn't feel confident that I could go back and forth because I didn't have all the information on them that I needed and stuff like that. So you got to play with it a little bit. But that was something that I would either try a raffle, or if you want to do a small discount or something like that, you can if they order right away. Or else you do like Marissa did and you just keep going back and forth. You know, one question I had, one that I tried last week when somebody didn't order from me. I had two mother-daughter teams and neither of them ordered from me at first. And so I reached out to them the next day and I was like, thank you again. That was so fun. And they were like, yeah, we had so much fun too. We're going to check and see what we want. And they'd already said that. And so then the next day I said, oh, you know what? I realized that we had talked about the tone correcting serum. Do you want me to send you a sample of that? I wanted another reason. You can always go back to people with new information. It's never comfortable to go back and say, did you have your order yet? Do you have your order yet? Do you want anything? Do you know if you want anything? I'm placing an order. Do you want anything? Like, that's not comfortable for you. That's not comfortable for her. But you can always go back to someone who was thinking and say, oh, you know what? I'm packing up samples. Do you want to try that charcoal mask that we talked about? I can mail you one. Or do you want to try it? Just offer her something else. And she's going to be like, oh, right. And that's a very friendly, giving, comfortable way to do that sort of back and forth with her. You know, invite her to another event. You know, say, oh, you know, we're doing this thing called Hydra Session. I think it might, you know, we're going to do it someday next week. Do you want to have, it's like a spa style facial, way more than what we did last time. And then that would be something that could help her kind of close that sale. But the sales, for the most part, have been pretty high. I have found that they've been pretty high. Mail service has been very good. We have a lot of guests lined up for Hydra Session. And while I've only had 3 people that book traditional parties, most people have been signing up for either events or they've just invited one person. Most people are saying yes. The hardest part I have found of these virtual appointments is once they say yes, they want one, to getting the date that they're going to do it. When they're like, yeah, we'll have to do that, and playing with that. But once you do the appointment, these appointments are quick. I haven't had any party take longer than an hour, and that's doing some sort of game and some sort of mask, you know, and most of them have been a little bit less than that. Questions about holding virtual appointments, any part of it?
I have a question.
Deborah. All right. Deborah, did you have a question? Okay, and then after that.
When you say to upload the set sheet, how do you, can you talk me through that, or is that something?
So you do know how to just open it on your screen.
Right.
So then what you do is at the bottom of Zoom, there's a thing that says share screen. Do you guys have it on your screen right now? At the bottom of the Zoom box, does it say share screen?
Yes.
Okay. So when you click on that, I think it's going to tell you this host won't let you share the screen. But
I think we can. I did it with my family the other night.
It depends on the setting. So, but anyway, when it's your meeting, then you can always share the screen. And what it's going to do is it's going to show you everything that's on your screen right now. And you'll see in a little thing, the set sheet, and you click on it. And then it will be up on your screen. And it'll have a little green bar, like line around it. And then you'll know that's what the people are looking at. And I always say, can you see what I just put up there? Just to double check, just to make sure I did it right. And they say yes. And then I use my mouse to point to things. And then at the end, you click stop share. Your other option is to mail everybody a set sheet. That's another way that you can do it. You can say, take it out. Some people are putting the set sheets in an envelope and saying, do not open. And then saying, okay, you can open the envelope that said do not open. It's just up to you and how you want to do it.
Okay, so you just open it like a regular.
Just double click on it. It will
play
open.
with it.
Yep.
I'll play with it. I'll
Try,
figure it.
You can call me tomorrow. Call me tomorrow and we'll
Okay.
Awesome.
Because I have my first one scheduled. I just got a text. We're going to do it tomorrow.
That's awesome. That's great. All right, Melissa, you had a question.
I just wanted to know if you had any advice on, like you just mentioned, the only issue you found you had was getting the date and time down. I think we've narrowed it down. I might have to do 2 different parties because some people are good for like Saturday and some people are good for Friday evening.
Yep.
Should I just do that and work with this, which I'm fine with more, you know what I mean? It's a lot of people anyway.
I would do 2 appointments before I would hold off and try and find a date that everyone can come.
Okay, yeah, because it's been like a nightmare trying to get everyone to do one day, so.
Yeah. Like, I gotta check, I gotta see, and then they forget. And honestly, like, I get it.
Yeah.
But what's nice about dividing it up into 2 parties is that then, let's say you have 3 people coming Friday, 3 people coming Saturday, and then someone doesn't show up on Friday. They work late. Now maybe she can come on Saturday, you know, so they have an alternate date. Absolutely. All right, who else has a question? Did anyone else have one? I don't see any other hands up, but it's hard for me to see because you're not all visible.
I do. Marissa has a question.
All right, Marissa.
Where did you get that set sheet that you showed us? Because I haven't seen that one.
So I just saw that one and I liked it, so I posted it on MK Studio.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And the reason that I like it is because it just has more items on it. And because I'm not in front of her, I thought it was nice to have more items on it.
Yeah.
All right, other questions?
Nancy has a question.
Nancy.
Hi, I dropped off some samples yesterday to one woman, and all I had was the cleanser, the day cream, the night cream, and the CC. Is that enough to just do a virtual facial?
So I believe anything is enough to do a virtual facial. I think if you sent her 3 lipstick samples, it's worth hopping on Zoom with her and trying the products, you know? So sure. In fact, sometimes the fewer products you use, the more likely they are to buy those products. So absolutely, whatever you have, that's what you show her.
I made up the samples myself, and I love the post you had on Facebook of all the samples and the packaging and all that. So I felt a little inadequate with the homemade samples.
I think the homemade samples are fine. I think that's in our head, but I don't think other people care. I think other people get these and they're like, "Ooh, this is so fun, it's samples." I think that's what they think. Samples are cute because they're little, they're like babies, and they're just so cute, and they want to put them on their face. Like, I bet your samples were just fine, and it probably is how many other goodie bags has she got this week from anybody? Probably nobody, right? So
Right.
Be proud of your homemade samples, Nancy. You're spreading the love.
Okay.
Other questions about virtual appointments? Any part of this that makes you nervous? Any part of this that you feel like stresses you out, or you're just not exactly sure how to do it? Does everybody have the supplies that they need to do a virtual appointment? Do you have envelopes to mail the samples? Little Ziploc bags if you need them? Products to turn into samples. We all have our stuff? All right.
Get more of the little baggies.
More of the little baggies. Yeah, they came
They're
fast.
from Amazon.
Yes. Yep. They come fast. Google, the best thing to do is 2x2 Ziploc bag. That's how I found I got the most listings. The ones I actually got were 2x3, so they don't actually give you the size you're asking for, but that was the search thing that gave me the most choices. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember you shared where you got the pink envelopes, but I don't know where it is now. Where did you share
It was
that?
on Amazon, and they're 4x8. So if you just type in pink 4x8 padded envelopes, they'll come up. And Amazon's always changing, because it could be this one vendor that does it and then another. But I actually have been using regular old manila ones even more often than the pink ones, because for a lot of people, they don't have catalogs. I've been meeting with a lot of people that aren't my regular clients, you know what I mean, or aren't my best clients. So don't feel like you have to get those little pink ones, right? I would say more than half of my people have been getting regular old manila ones that are like this big. They're called size 1, and it fits a catalog in the samples. So use whatever you have. I also reuse, I get tons of Amazon ones in, like, because I order from Amazon a lot. I reuse those. I rip them off, and then I put my stuff in, and I staple them shut and put it with tape. So don't be afraid to reuse either what you have. The key is that when you're sitting with someone, you just want to make them have fun, right? So it's totally fine for you. Like, let's say you're going to sit and you're going to do your makeup with them, and you put it on and you're like, that looks terrible. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're like, I don't think I did that well. You can say, does one of these look darker than the other? And they'll be like, that one looks darker. And we'll be like, okay, we're going to blend. You know, you don't have to be perfect at this. You just want to have fun with them. They just want to square out the samples. They just want to put stuff on and see their girlfriends or see you or forget about everything that's outside. They just want that time. So just remember that you're the entertainment, all right, in the good way. Like, you're the person that's there to make them feel good. And as long as you're doing that, you can't screw this up. One appointment that I had yesterday, she had the, you know, at the end, she's like, we're all done. Her makeup is all done. And she goes like this. What's this? And she holds up her charcoal mask. And then I looked at the card. It was right there on the list. It wasn't this card, but it was like 6 things on the list. And I skipped the charcoal mask. And I'm like, that's your homework. That's what you're going to do the night before bed. Don't, you can't worry about it, right? It doesn't matter. It's just for fun. What else? If you're not going to give her a makeover, if you're not going to send her a ton of samples and sit down with her and play girly with her, who is? Other than Mary Kay, who's going to do that? Nobody's going to do that. I saw this new startup of these 2 women that are starting this business where they're skincare consultants. For $20, they'll have a 15-minute consult with you and tell you what products to buy from different brands. We do that for free. We do that for free, right? And if you try them, you can get them from us. If you can try them, you can get your money back, everything. This is like Disney World. This is like coronavirus Disney World. This is the best it's going to get for people, right? So let's just remember that we're doing something really, really nice here. So don't worry too much about being perfect or about forgetting something. If you don't use some of the samples, she can use it another time. You forgot a sample, you can send it to her another time. This isn't ending tomorrow, sadly. Sadly, you're going to have plenty of other opportunities to send her more stuff and for her to buy from you, all right? I really would love for you to continue to promote Hydra Session for Friday because I think it's going to be awesome. We have over 20 guests, not counting consultants, booked for Friday. Will they all come on? Who knows? Ali and I. Say it again, Ali and I. Honey, you're not muted, but I can't. Oh yeah, you are muted. There you are. There you go. Try it again. Sorry, sweetheart. Ali and I, try it again. Is she frozen? She's muting herself again. Ali and I, do you have something to say? She's gonna smile. Does she have the best smile or what? All right, love you. Text me. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. You're back? Ali and I, is that you? No. Okay. We'll work it out. We'll work it out after. All right. Any other questions about this? No. It sounds like you guys you understand the concept. Now, we had decided, I'm going to unspotlight myself. I just lost how to unspotlight.
Hello.
Hello? Okay. Can you hear me, Ali and I? No, she can't hear me. That's the problem. Okay, so we had talked about a week ago, and we had said, how many makeovers do you need to do before you think you're going to be really good at these virtual makeovers? And we decided that the number was 15, right? How are you doing getting to your 15? Who was on at least 1? Raise your hand if you did at least 1. Okay. Give me jazz hands if you did at least 5. Jazz hands? All right, so most people are working on 5. Marissa, Sue, and Stephanie. Oh, Ali and I's done more than 5. Okay, awesome. So we're just going to keep going with this. Let's see how fast we can get to 5, how fast we can get to 10. And the other thing I want to bring up again is Easter. I talked about this a little bit this morning. People are freaking out about Easter baskets right now. They don't have things for them. All right. We have things for Easter baskets. So be sure that you make a post on Facebook. You remember what they talked about on Super Summit PET. Post on Facebook, send an email, and then text people. Hey, if you need any items for Easter baskets, I have a lot of things in stock. I can pop in the mail or deliver tomorrow. And then send out an email to your customer list. If you don't have a customer list, that's fine. You just send it through Mary Kay. Go to My Customers and send an e-card. And then third, text people that you know that have girls that need baskets, that you think might want a basket, and that do a basket for girls ages, 8 and up. And just say, hey, not sure if you're all set with your Easter basket, but I have some things in mind for, if you know her daughter's name, by all means use that name. I have some things in mind for Gianna, if you need anything for her. And you'll sell some last minute Easter basket stuff too. It's a great way to move a lot of product right around the time for Easter. All right, any questions? No. All right. Do you feel like you have more knowledge and confidence in what you need to do to hold a virtual appointment? All right. Now the last thing to do is to just hold some virtual appointments, and that's going to make all the difference. So thank you so much for being on. I appreciate it. We do have a bunch more trainings come up that you're welcome to come to. If not, I promise I'll text them. I promise I'll post them. But I really want to tell you how impressed I am with all of you, because everything is so topsy-turvy right now. But you've been sticking with your Mary Kay, and you've been sticking with each other, and having this cohort of amazing women with a common goal of building this up, spreading the love. You're the highlight of my quarantine. You're the highlight of my quarantine. So thank you for that.
This is beautiful.
All right, everybody. Have a great night. I'll talk to you soon.